In this brief video, we'll show you how to learn the range of meaning for a given Hebrew word, which is a vital step in the word study process. Suppose, for example, we're interested in the word create, which in Genesis 1:1 is bara. Begin by opening your Hebrew Bible in accordance to the verse that you're interested in, and then right-click on the word you're interested in. When you do so, the following pop-up will occur. We're interested in the sixth option down, which is word study. Again, the sixth option down in the pop-up, word study. When you hover over the word word study, notice the pop-up to the right, which offers three options. We can either explore the lexeme, the inflected form, or the root. We're interested in the lexeme. If we were to instead explore the inflected form, that would look up only those occurrences that are the exact word that we launched from, bara, which would be the katal conjugation, third masculine singular. It wouldn't look up the underlying primary word. So lexeme is what we want. Left click on lexeme. Now notice that a new panel opens to the right, headed Word Study. Let's walk through the information this provides. First, we see the heading Word Count. It tells us that the lexeme Beit Resh Aleph occurs 54 times in the Hebrew Bible. Next, we're given just a thumbnail sketch of basic meanings. Create, cut down, or make fat. Depending on what the context is, we would have the option of choosing one of these three meanings. And that's based on the lexicon Brown Driver Briggs that you see labeled under the heading Definition. Under the heading Definition, you'll see the first three lines quoted or excerpted from Brown Driver Briggs. At this point, it's a good idea to go to Brown Driver Briggs and explore that in the resource firsthand. If we click on the word more, which appears grayed out to the right of your lexicon, and again, you don't have to be using this particular lexicon. Whatever is in your package is what you should use. Left click on that word more, and now notice that the lexicon panel has dialed directly to the word we're interested in, bara. Let's watch and see what kind of options we are offered as legitimate translations for this word. We have initially the general meaning to shape or create. We don't want to be satisfied with that information, however. Let's scroll down and see what we see what we can find. Notice that at this point we are in meaning number one in Brown Driver Briggs for this verb. We are told what it means in various related languages. That's good curiosity information, but it's not going to be definitive for our use of Hebrew. Then we'll drop into various binyanim. First, the kal binyan. If the verb that we're looking at is in the kal binyan, we can render it shape, fashion, or create as part of meaning one. And then we're given various situations where it occurs. Is it shape, fashion, and create heaven and earth, or making mankind, making the host of heaven, and so forth? That's where it occurs or what it applies to. You can see other subunits of this definition as we scroll further down. When we come to nifal, that's indicated by a bold heading. Brown Driver Briggs gives us what spellings we will encounter, various forms of the nifal binyan, and then meaning. To be created. Notice the passive voice. That's not a surprise when we're shifting from kal to nifal, but still the fundamental idea of creation. It can apply to heaven and earth. It can apply to a person or an animal, I suppose, something being created, given birth. Then we come to the piel binyan, and interestingly, here is where we encounter the second meaning that appeared over in the word study panel, namely to cut down or to cut out. So if bara occurs in the PL, these are the options that we are offered. Continuing to scroll down, we come then to entry Roman numeral 2, still of the Lexeme Bara Bet Resh Aleph. There is one situation where the best meaning is to be fat, and this occurs with a hifil binyan. Beyond that, we encounter some related words, such as an adjectival form, meaning to be fat, and so on. So this is the solid lexical information underpinning the summary that we see in the word study panel. It grows out of research in Brown, Driver, Briggs. If we go back over to the word study panel, then you can see the quantity of times, the number of times that a given connotation occurs, with the most frequent being to create or be created. That would be included there, 48 times. To cut down, that was the PL meaning, wasn't it? 5 times. And to make something fat, 1 time. That information, that distribution, is reflected in the pie chart that you see. If you want to see that a little larger, click in the arrow that's in the upper right of that pie chart. Clicking on any of the respective fields will take us to the first occurrence of that particular meaning. So a left double click in the large field will dial up Genesis 1:1. We had that open already. If we go to the next largest slice, the 5 occurrence bara meaning cut down, and left double click, it will open up a passage in Joshua 17:15 where the meaning to cut down, and this refers to a forest being cut down. This traces to the Lexeme Bara. So far, we have restricted ourselves to the meanings that are grounded in an authorized lexicon, Brown, Driver, Briggs, and that's very solid work. However, it's useful to see how a modern translation, a modern version of the Bible, has worked with these same words. Here's how Accordance can help us do that. Go back to the heading that says Text Compare, and where your current display reads a title of the Hebrew Bible, such as BHS, Hebrew Apparatus, and so forth, left-click on the drop-down arrow, and then come down to a different version, a different copy, such as an English version. Let's go with ESV. Left-click on that and notice what we are offered. And now, instead of just 3 meanings, we have various flavors. Created, create, creator with a capital C, referring to God. To make, ground, clear, fattening, we recognize some of these, or cut. Let's scroll down and perform that same kind of transformation, sampling the ESV under the heading Word Pie Graph. Left-click on the triangle and open once again that same English version, ESV, with a right-click, and notice that our pie graph reflects the variety of meaning options. I find it helpful to sample not only an authorized lexicon, although that's our first step, but also sample a modern version, because sometimes they will introduce some flavors of meaning that are legitimate but might not come to mind if we work simply with the lexicon. So these are some steps that can help you with this essential portion of a word study, namely learning what is the range of meaning that the native speaker would have had in the back of their mind, almost in their subconscious, as they encounter a given Hebrew word. From this point then, we as a modern translator will want to exercise judiciously our options in what flavor, which of those meanings we feel is best suited for the particular verse that we began with.